You are not broken. You are just running an old program, and today we are going to rewrite the code together, live, right here, in the next 20 minutes. I want you to think about the last time fear stopped you cold. Maybe it was an email you didn't send, a phone call you let ring out, a version of your life you keep window shopping for but never actually walk into the store and buy. Fear has a funny way of dressing itself up as being realistic or just being cautious, when really, it's just an old, outdated alarm system going off for no good reason, like a smoke detector that beeps every time you make toast. Nothing is actually burning down. It's just old wiring, and old wiring can be replaced. Before we get into it, I want to point you towards something that a lot of you have been asking me about, and I only bring it up because it genuinely picks up where a video like this leaves off. It's our Command and Manifest ebook, and it's built to walk you through the actual process of manifesting the life you keep affirming for, step by step, in plain language, no fluff. Videos like this one give you the shift in understanding. The ebook gives you the walkthrough. Think of this video as the seed, and the ebook as the whole garden guide. It's linked right there in the description if you want to go deeper after today. Now, let's get into the fear. Here's the thing nobody tells you about fear. It is not a character flaw. It is not proof that you are weak, or unlucky, or somehow born without the confidence gene that everyone else seems to have gotten in the mail. Fear is just a very old, very loyal employee that never got the memo that the company changed direction. It used to have a real job. Thousands of years ago, your fear response was the difference between getting eaten by something with too many teeth and living to see tomorrow. It was useful. It was, frankly, a hero. But somewhere along the way, that same wiring started firing off for things like sending a text message, asking for a raise, or posting a video of yourself online. Your nervous system cannot always tell the difference between "there is a lion in the grass" and "I might get a slightly awkward reply from my boss." It just knows something feels uncertain, and uncertain, to an old brain, means dangerous. So if you've ever felt ridiculous for being terrified of something that, objectively, could not hurt you, I want you to let yourself off the hook right now. You are not ridiculous. You are just a human being with a very well-meaning internal security guard who is, frankly, a little overzealous and hasn't been properly retrained in a while. That's it. That's the whole diagnosis. Nothing is wrong with you. Something is simply outdated. I remember a version of myself that would rehearse entire conversations in the shower. Conversations that never even happened, just to prepare for every possible way someone could reject an idea I hadn't even shared yet. I would talk myself out of things before I even got the chance to try them, all in the name of protecting myself. Except protecting myself from what, exactly? A future that hadn't occurred yet? I was standing guard over an empty room, and if that sounds a little silly when I say it out loud, that's because it is. But it is also exactly what most of us do, every single day, without even noticing. Let's talk about why this actually matters, because I know some of you are thinking, fine, fear is old wiring, so what? Everyone deals with it. Why does this one deserve 20 minutes of my life? Here's why. Fear is not just an uncomfortable feeling you push through. Fear, left unexamined, actually becomes the architect of your life. It decides which doors you knock on and which ones you quietly avoid walking past altogether. It decides which relationships you enter fully and which ones you keep one foot out the door in, just in case. It decides whether you raise your hand, apply for the role, start the business, end the relationship that's been quietly expired for years, or say the thing you've been swallowing for the sake of peace. And the wild part is, most of us never consciously chose fear as our architect. It just kind of took the job by default, because nobody ever told us we were allowed to fire it. Here is the part that changes everything, and I want you to really sit with this one. Fear is not a prediction. It feels like one. It absolutely convinces you that it knows something you don't, that it's seeing around a corner you can't see around yet, that it has insider information about how badly things are going to go. But fear has no actual access to the future. None. It is simply your mind rehearsing worst-case scenarios, using the raw material of old memories, old wounds, and borrowed anxieties from people who never worked on their own fear either. Fear is not fortune-telling. Fear is just an old story wearing a very convincing costume. So how do we actually rewire this? Because awareness alone is lovely, but you didn't come here for a philosophy lecture. You came here for a tool. You can actually use the next time your stomach drops and your palms get sweaty and your brain starts screaming abort mission. So let's build a framework. Something simple enough that you can use it in the middle of a grocery store, a job interview, or lying awake at 2 a.m. spiraling about something that probably won't even happen. I call it the 3-second flip, and it works in 3 quick moves. Name it, flip it, feed it. Step 1 is name it. The moment you feel that fear response rising, the tight chest, the racing thoughts, the urge to just not do the thing, you stop and you name exactly what's happening. Out loud if you can, silently if you can't. You say, this is fear, this is old wiring, this is not truth, this is just a very dramatic alarm going off for no real emergency. Naming it does something almost magical to your nervous system, because the moment you observe the fear, instead of becoming the fear, you separate yourself from it. You are no longer the panicking person. You are the calm person, watching the panicking person and going, oh, there it is again, right on schedule. That tiny bit of distance is everything. It is the difference between being swept away by a wave and standing on the shore watching the wave roll in. Step 2 is flip it. Once you've named it, you take the exact story your fear is telling you, and you flip it into its opposite, out loud, with full conviction, even if you don't fully believe it yet. Fear says, this is going to go badly. You flip it and say, this is working out for my good. Fear says, they're going to say no. You flip it and say, the right doors are opening for me right now. This is not about lying to yourself or pretending everything is sunshine when your palms are still sweating. It's about refusing to let the old, outdated program have the only microphone in the room. You are simply handing the microphone to a new voice, one that gets to speak just as loudly and honestly, deserves to speak a lot more often than it has been. And step 3, the one most people skip, is feed it. This is the step that actually rewires the pattern long term, because a flip you say once and forget about is just a nice sentence. A flip you feed daily becomes a belief. Feeding it means you take that flipped statement and you repeat it. You write it down, you speak it into your day like you're watering a plant you actually want to grow. If your flip is, the right doors are opening for me right now, you don't just say that once in the grocery store and move on. You say it in the mirror, in the morning. You say it while you're making coffee. You say it while you're driving, while you're in the shower, while you're falling asleep. Repetition is not annoying. Repetition is architecture. Every single time you feed a new thought, you are laying one more brick in a completely new foundation, and eventually, that new foundation becomes so sturdy that the old fear pattern simply doesn't have anywhere left to stand. I want to be honest with you about something, because I think it matters more than the framework itself. This is not going to work if you do it once, and then wait for your entire life to transform overnight. Nobody rewires decades of conditioning with one good pep talk in the mirror. What actually happens is quieter than that, and slower than that, and honestly, a lot more beautiful than that. You do the 3-second flip once, and nothing dramatic happens. You do it again the next day, and again the day after that, and somewhere around week 3 or week 4, without any fireworks or angelic choir moment, you notice you didn't even flinch at something that would have paralyzed you a month ago. That's the whole game. It's not about becoming a person who never feels fear again. Even the most successful, most grounded, most seemingly fearless people you admire still feel it. The difference is, they've simply stopped treating fear's opinion as the final word. Now here's where you actually get to prove this to yourself, because I don't want this to just be a nice video you watched and felt good about for 20 minutes before going back to your regularly scheduled programming. I want you to pick one thing right now. One small thing you've been avoiding because of fear. It does not have to be massive. It does not have to be quitting your job or ending a 10-year relationship in the next 5 minutes. It can be sending the text, making the call, posting the thing, asking the question you've been sitting on. Whatever it is, I want you to actually name it in the comments below, right now. Before you keep scrolling to the next video, and let this one quietly slip out of your mind, like every other piece of content you've consumed today, type it out. This alone counts as feeding the new pattern, because the second you commit to something in writing, in front of other people, you've made it real. You've told your brain, this matters enough to say out loud. And then, today, before you go to bed, I want you to actually do the 3-second flip on it. Name the fear, flip the story, feed it once, right now, and then again tomorrow morning. That's it. That's the whole assignment. Small, doable, and honestly kind of fun once you get the hang of it. I also want to remind you, because this really does pair beautifully with everything we just covered, that the Command and Manifest ebook takes this exact kind of shift and builds it into a full, guided path. If today's video gave you the moment of realizing fear isn't the boss of you anymore, the ebook is where you go to actually build the life on the other side of that realization, one deliberate step at a time. It's linked in the description below. And honestly, if you've been nodding along through this whole video going, yes, this makes sense, but how do I actually apply it to my specific situation? That's exactly the gap the ebook was built to close. Let's talk for a second about what actually happens on the other side of doing this consistently, because I don't think we talk enough about how good it feels, not just how hard the beginning is. There's a version of you that exists right now, quietly waiting, who doesn't flinch when opportunity knocks, who hears a scary idea and gets curious instead of frozen, who can sit in uncertainty without needing to control every outcome, because they finally understood that fear was never actually protecting them. It was just keeping them small and calling it safety. That version of you isn't some far-off, someday, maybe person. That version of you gets built one flipped thought at a time, one small brave action at a time. One day you chose growth over comfort, even though comfort was right there, warm and familiar, and asking you to just stay. I think about how much of my own life was shaped by decisions I let fear make on my behalf. And I don't say that with any shame, because shame doesn't rewire anything. It just adds another layer of fear on top of the fear that was already there. I say it with a kind of tenderness, because that version of me was doing her best with the wiring she had at the time. And so are you. Wherever you are right now, however many times fear has talked you out of something that mattered, you are not behind. You are simply at the exact point in the story where the rewiring begins, and honestly, that's a pretty exciting place to be standing. So here's what I want you to remember walking away from this. Fear is not a prophecy. It's not proof. It's not even really yours. Most of the time, it's inherited, borrowed, patched together from old moments that had nothing to do with the situation in front of you today. You get to name it, you get to flip it, and you get to feed something new, until the new thing is simply who you are. That's not a fantasy. That's not toxic positivity. That's just how the mind actually works. And once you know how something works, you stop being at its mercy and you start being the one who runs it. If this video shifted something for you, even a little, do me a favor and subscribe, because we're building an entire library of these shifts, one video at a time, and I don't want you to miss the next one. Drop a comment and tell me the one small brave thing you're doing today. I read every single one, and honestly, they inspire me just as much as I hope this inspires you. And if you know someone who has been letting an old alarm system run their entire life, send this their way. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is remind them that the fear they've been treating like gospel truth is just outdated wiring, waiting for someone brave enough to flip the switch. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, go be brave about something small today. That's where all the big things start.